Welcome back to the Ed Show. This Saturday, Republicans at CPAC spent International Women's Day with some of the party's marquee names. Failed presidential candidate and soon-to-be former Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann kicked off the day's program.
You see, our movement at its core is an intellectual movement. We are based on the greatest ideas that have ever been conceived in the mind of man. And I would put those magnificent ideas up against any other idea for freedom in the world.
Absolutely. Like taking health care away from millions of Americans. That's a hell of an idea. Taxing the middle class. Deregulation. These are just great conservative ideas. Intellectual? I don't think so. Half-term governor and failed vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin went on to prove Bachmann's point.
I do not like this, Uncle Sam. I do not like his health care scam. I do not like these dirty crooks or how they lie and cook the books. I do not like when Congress stills. I do not like their crony dills. I do not like this spying, man. I do not like, oh yes we can. I do not like this spending spree. We're smart, we know there's nothing free. I do not like reporter smug replies when I complain about their lies. I do not like this kind of hope, and we won't take it. Nope, nope, nope.
My friends, it needs no commentary. Joining me now is political strategist Angela Rye. Angela, good to have you with us tonight.
Great to be with you, Ed.
You bet. It seems that Green Eggs and Ham has become the go-to book for the Tea Party. Are acts of political theater about the best they can do at this point?
Well, Ed, you know, it's kind of hard to make it through that with a straight face, but I'm going to tell you what, I think that we kind of need to meet them where they are, Ed. So I wrote a Green Eggs and Ham rendition just for you and for Sarah, in case she's watching, because I know she has to love the Ed Show. So it's, we do not like Palin politics, sir and ma'am, nor the CPAC version of Uncle Sam, but we do love our Obamacare plans, and Ed, you betcha. Yes, we can.
you know
so,
what?
Yeah,
you got to fight fire with you got to fight fire with fire. Don't you got to meet them on their own level, I guess. Here's what you know, the war on women. There clearly has been legislation that has been put up on the state level that, of course, is going after women's rights. None of this was talked about at CPAC. What does that signal to conservative women when they see performances like that at conventions like that? It really is all about just being a token and also entertainment.
Well, I think we talk about this often, right? They are talking to their audience. They know their audience. And the women that are a part of CPAC and the GOP writ large ignore these issues. These are issues that they divorce themselves from because they say things like Sarah Palin, that they're cheap dates, instead of acknowledging the fact that women do have the right to choose jobs, choose their wages, to ensure they're fair. The long-standing battle of women's suffrage and all of these other things that have ensured women's advancement over time. The fact that the president signed the Lilly Ledbetter Act into law as his first act as the president is a major deal that they ignore, largely because they're not really ready to talk truth and what it really means to be a woman in America in this day and age, Ed. So they're meeting their audience where they are. The rest of the women in the GOP aren't really ready to talk about these things.
Here are the numbers. 163 speakers, according to the LA Times, and panelists at CPAC. 78% were men, 21% were women. That's a 57-point gender gap. I mean, isn't that a statement?
It's also a statement, Ed, that most of these rooms were vacant. And during Michelle Bachmann's speech, there are a couple of yeahs, literally a couple. So I think there's also a larger problem of who they're really speaking to. They have a demographics problem, whether they're talking about gender, race, young people, folks with disabilities, the rest of the things in this country that make us diverse. There's nothing Big Ten about CPAC or the GOP party writ large.
How outrageous was it, Michelle Bachmann's comment about intellectual? Well, I mean, I'm stunned by that, but.
Well, it is a problem that she said that they were, you know, the party of intellectual ideas. It was also shameful that she talked about the fact that President Obama was elected because there was white guilt in this country. So she was all over the place, as was Sarah Palin, beyond just the green eggs and ham reading. But again, they were talking to people who really believe these things. And we see this all the time on Twitter. The folks that are supporting these ideals are not exactly Satan.
Well, but they're, you know, not even remiss about addressing women's issues. In other words, they think that they can just make a political movement as if it's not going to get noticed. And the demographics are only going to be worse for them in the future. How can they not see that?
Well, Ed, again, I think that part of this is the fact that we're talking facts right now. You brought out the numbers. You've talked about the folks who are actually in the audience. They don't deal with facts and reality. These are people that tout talking points and propaganda, whether it's Benghazi. I know that we heard that both from Michelle Bachmann and from Sarah Palin. The same Sarah Palin in the speech who said, well, these folks, the GOP has to get over trying to repeal Obamacare as a strategy. But then she had a green eggs and ham story about Obamacare. So it's not, again, it's not about, you know, what really has any type of truth attached to it. It's about what resounds well with this group of people. And unfortunately, it's not based on any type of fact.
Do conservatives have any answer for Hillary Clinton? We're jumping ahead a little bit here, but do they have any answer for what obviously would be a very powerful candidate if she were to announce?
Sure. It definitely not speak at the CPAC conference this week. It wasn't from Sarah Palin or Michelle Bachmann. They've got a long road if they're going to be any type of challenge to Hillary Clinton.
All right. Angela Rye, always good to have you on the Ed Show. Thanks so much.
Always good to be here.
Story on steel tomorrow.